Hello, I'm Samuel Nunez, and my major is theology, and I'm very thankful for this opportunity, and today I will be sharing my testimony to y'all. I grew up in a Adventist home, and at a young age, my dad departed from the faith not too long after my mother did as well. And it was like that for a few years until my early teens. I remember that my mom decided to give her life back to the Lord. So she did, and she started to take us to church once again. And I remember at that time, I was young. I didn't want to go to church anymore or hear anything about God. And every time she took us, I had this feeling that I just didn't want to be there. I didn't feel like I belonged there, and I found it boring for at that time. So I remember that a few years passed after that, and I wasn't going to church much as I used to. I started hanging out with the wrong friends, and in my high school year, I was doing things that I wasn't supposed to. I started to party every weekend, and not too long after, I started to consume alcohol too, and I started to do drugs as well. I thought that was fun, and that's how I lived my life for a long period of time. So after I graduated high school, I got a pretty good job, and not too long after, I got promoted, and at that time, I was living in North Carolina, and to take this promotion of my job, I had to move from the state of North Carolina to Atlanta, Georgia, and I decided to. So I went over there, and everything was going good for a period of time. I was living life to the fullest, like many people would like to live at that time. I remember making a good salary. I was making over a six-figure income, and partying every weekend and drinking, and this was my life for another period of time after my graduation after I graduated from high school. But another time passed. Being over there, I just felt very empty, and I couldn't understand why I felt this emptiness in my heart, and I just tried to run away from it. I remember drinking every time I felt like this, and I just couldn't understand why I felt so empty. I had everything materialistic talking. I felt that I was in a good spot, but I just couldn't understand why I felt empty. In the year of 2019, 4 years after being in Georgia, I decided to open up my heart to the Lord in prayer. Now, I remember my mom taught me how to pray, and the only thing I just knew at that time was just how to start a prayer and to finish it. But to talk to the Lord, I never had that experience until that day where I decided to tell God everything how I was feeling at that moment. So I remember making that prayer, and I just felt so peaceful, something that I never experienced before. A couple days later, I came back to do the same thing because it was something that I haven't had experience in never in my life. So I did another prayer, and I started to do it again and again, and I was feeling something that, like I said, I have never experienced before. And I just knew God was answering and listening to my prayers. So a time came where I wanted to make a decision because I wasn't really happy. I felt alone in Georgia. So I wanted to ask God if I should do something different in my life or move back to North Carolina. So I was trying to decide that, and I just went in prayer and told God all about that. A couple of days later, I remember my cell phone ringing, and it was one of my managers from North Carolina, where he asked me if I wanted to come back to North Carolina, and I was able to keep my salary and everything. And I was very happy and excited because I just knew that God had answered my prayer. So I took that decision, and about a month later, I was back in North Carolina. I was closer to friends and my family, and I was very happy knowing that God had answered my prayer. So I remember COVID came, and for many people, COVID was a very bad thing. And I'm not going to say COVID was a good thing, but for me, it was at that moment, because I couldn't stay a weekend at home not doing anything. I had to go out there and just have fun with my friends and party like I usually did. But I was in not doing much, so I started to read the Bible while all this was happening. And I remember reading the Bible in a short amount of time. I remember finishing the whole New Testament in a period of a month and a half. I felt so happy, and it was about 2 or 3 months that passed that I could say I was sober, because I couldn't go over 2 or 3 weeks without partying or drinking. And to me, that was an amazing moment, until my friends decided to invite me to go out to the lake one afternoon. And I went, and while we were over there, they had beers and everything, alcohol, and they were having fun, and I didn't want to feel left out from the circle from where I was at that moment. So I decided to drink again. And I remember that evening I got so drunk that I woke up the next morning all hungover, and I felt really bad. Not because I was hungover, but because I had let God down, because I was having a relationship with Him. And at that moment, I remember that God spoke to me directly, because I was saddened for the mistake that I did. And I heard that voice speak to me and told me, "Sam, don't worry, just don't do it again." And after God forgave me at that moment, whenever I was hung over that night with my friends, and I started to get closer to Him. I started to read His Word more and to pray more. And I remember my mom calling me and telling me many times that, "Hey, Sam, we're praying for you. The church is praying for you." I didn't want to let her know that I was having this experience with God on my own, because at that time I just felt so proudful. And a few months passed after that, where I decided to finally give my life to the Lord. 1 year exactly passed whenever I opened my heart to the Lord, to me giving my life to the Lord. And I got baptized, and that was the best moment that I experienced in my life. That emptiness that I had, it went away. And I could really say that Jesus filled me with His love, and I started to go through a lot of things in life. And I'm just so happy, because I've seen how God has been guiding my life since. A lot of things has happened, but I'm very thankful of what God is doing in my life. And today I'm here at Union College, and I never thought I would be here. But God has amazing plans to everyone that really comes to Him. I thought I was going to continue my life just doing what I was doing before, but God called me for something better. He has called me to the ministry, and it is something that I'm just so privileged in doing. I'm here studying theology now, and God has called me, and I just want to serve Him with everything, with all my life, and I'm very thankful for what He has done, because I can say today that emptiness that I had, nothing out there could fill it, but only God could. So I'm very thankful, and that is just a glimpse of my testimony of what God has been doing in my life, and I'm very thankful that I'm here today. Hey guys, I'm very thankful for this opportunity that I was given to share my testimony, and God is working in people's life, and just like He has done in my life, I'm sure that you have also a story that you would like to share. So if you do, Campus Ministry would like to hear your testimony. So reach out to us, and we'll be more than glad to share your testimony here as well.